Same time, same place, same edition of Temidlalo. Hello, welcome. As once again, we welcome you to the edition on Thursday, where we look at the different sporting activities that took center stage past weekend, heading to another weekend. It's been very a wonderful weekend. If you look at some of the things that happened, we begin with the Eswatini Boxing Association. They held their 2023 national championships. Few issues were raised. We have a special guest from the association to give us clarity on some of the things that were outlined. Otherwise, beach volleyball continued to make center stage in preparations for international competition. Our colleague Linda Dlamini took a trip to Lobamba over the weekend just to get how the association, the volleyball association, is making selection of the volleyball, beach volleyball rather, in terms of how both male and female preparations for international competition. This will be the first ever competition that the country will be taking part of after quite some time, knowing that now we have a facility there by Lobamba, as you can see. Now, going on, we also talk about Oyama Kyokushinkai Karate programs of developing youngsters. So they continue to encourage youngsters and develop them and also be able to take them to another level. Moving on, also, as you can see, these are some of the youngsters that we've seen in the past, and including also this past weekend, they have also been training some youngsters. So we hear also some of the comments from those officials. Otherwise, talk about top sprinters in the country. Subseso Matsenjwa, known as Swazipold, and Bongiwa Matlalela, I beg your pardon, they were taking part of the SA Grand Prix in Pretoria, South Africa, over the previous night, last night in Pretoria. So we hear how they perform and talk about their performance. This is Bongiwa Matlalela in 100 meters, where she finished, fifth out of 6 competitors. So it could be also a chance to say she's getting exposed and to know how things operate. So nothing much is lost, but it's a performance that we talk about, and also other things. There's also M10 Premier League Player of the Month of March, Njabulo Twala from Green Mamba, alongside Mpoko Smoothies, also he's a player who used to play at the Premier League level, but now at Eswatini United and National First Division. So these are the two players for the month of March, both Premier League and National First Division, respectively. There is Mr. Twala, of course, in a standstill position. At some point, with a colleague, Linda Dlamini, will touch on it. But for now, I have a special guest by the name of Nkosinati Dlamini, the Secretary General of Eswatini Boxing Association. Nguvusele,
and thank you very much for inviting me here in the studio. Yes.
Ngos, you also you have another double position besides being a Secretary General. Coach.
Yes.
At some point, seasons are development. But let's talk about the weekend national championships. You know, there were some tempers, I could tell. But did you have, now summarize what a day it was for you as an association and the boxers?
I'll start with the positive side. We are happy as an association to be able to host a successful championship. Yeah, we have champions and boxers attended in numbers. Yes, we did have some faults there and there in terms of refereeing and charges, but those who didn't stop the tournament to proceed. So we're able to get to conclusion to have champions, and the tournament was okay. Yes.
We'll look at the visuals now, but when you say you start with the positives, what are you saying? Is there is there a certain growth that you've noted from the previous year? Because I'm seeing someone in the black and white by the name of Zweli Dlamini. That's a top boxer in the country. I think it's been awarded as best boxer for the past 2 editions in terms of both the association and the country. Wendegan, is there any improvement that you've seen as an association?
There is an improvement from all the boxers, even the new boxers. Now it's hard to see. I feel like coaches are working an extra mile to improve the boxers, because even they get inside the ring, it's hard to see a new boxer and an old boxer. So the competition is getting higher and higher every day. Yes, through the positive of the executive. So boxers are well motivated to compete, and they want to be champion. They want to raise the flag higher outside the country. So and whenever they get inside the ring, they're not just throwing punches, but they throw it's very technical. So the old boxers, they get challenged to box with the new boxers, because they assume that this is a new boxer to be easy work. But when he gets inside the ring, it's not easy work. And everyone who can see from far will see, like, will assume, no, both boxers are well experienced.
Kuresigaba sa coach, mhlawumbe ungasichazela ukuthi yini oyibonile ukuthi ithinga ukuthi improve as a country. Now, I would say in terms of international competition,
Yes.
we're attending so much these days. But some of the things that maybe unasosuhlelwa tibuta ukuthi bo coach vele sidinga ukuthi si improve kunasigaba nasi.
One thing it's my opinion is that bo coach komele bakwati kusebenzisana. Singapendani ngemabala ukuthi wena wayiphi team, and then if we can have groups training, but due to lack of funds then it's hard to have groups training during the weekend. But if we have group training and whenever approaching some international games, we wish ukuthi sihambe siye ngaphandle sihambe siyokhemba silungisele le midlalo sitokwati kusebenza kahle singavele suke emathimini ethu sihambe siye le. Yeah, so I think bo coach bangasebenzisana motivatana ukuthi kukhenjwe before like icamp litawuhlala mebadlali bahlala enzaweni yinye bangasuka ekhaya ukuze bayofika lengeshe.
Level of competition nangibuka ngathi ku-tough kuma team nangibuka from the boxers.
Yeah, bona nje if you can see nale about labayivetayo nje nyalo laba mfana laba abancane laba ma juniors lawo says that is 14 and 15. Yes.
When what was the issue? Let's talk about it because you were there.
Yes.
When because at some point Naspuma maybe Stamuva president
Yes.
akala ngalabo judge and when again on the day the issue of the judges.
In Swaziland bajudge this now
Uchaza tsini the man in the white shirt.
The man in the white. I think he was explaining how the judges. He was explaining to the other coach, Moose Shong from Eswatini, would say how did his boxer lose to the judges. Yes, but the other coach was failing to understand. Would say this is how my boxer lose. You see, when a coach always feel like when there's a foul, you feel like there's no foul. Yes, so Mr. Moose felt like there was no foul. The boxer won clean. Yes.
As an association, because president is there, Webster Ukelene White
Yes.
Cape, you are his SG,
Yes.
which means you're also close to his thoughts and everything.
Yes.
Not seen on the day. Are you complaining about the level of officiating within the industry, or something needs to be changed?
I'm not going to say we're complaining. We appreciate the referees and judges what they did, because not all the bouts we have problems with. It was only these bouts that we have problems with. So we're not going to say we're complaining. We do have some faults there and there. So, but as an association, we are willing, President is willing to give more workshops to the referees and judges to improve their skills of judging and refereeing, so that they can be fair results that everyone can easy to accept. Yes.
Beautiful stuff. I'm happy. Now, I will touch on the female side of things, but
Yes.
as we attendance on the day,
Yes.
attendance would see number of time boxers on the day.
Yes.
Now, you've been in the industry for some times. Siyakura in as a country. Number now it's clearly my clubs and get in.
Yes, my clubs are engaged. As I'm a coach too, in my community in Biwak, I have a boxing team, but still is under Zebra Force, but it's a boxing team that is stable in Biwak. And we also have a team in Manzini. That's another new team. So I would say it's positive. My clubs are engaged, and even the number of boxers inside the competition. Especially the new boxers. So the old boxers, some of them so we have a new pool of new boxers who are very high competitive.
The female
Yes.
aspect of things.
Yes.
Sabona recently ni konile ku exporter one or
Yes.
two female boxers international. I think we had Wagamakaya
Veliswa Makaya.
Veliswa
Yes.
Makaya. She was in India
Yeah, she was
with
in
Coach Max Maxwell.
Ngwenya.
Simeguphi as a country, as SG, a short brief background. Where are we standing in terms of female boxing in the country?
We challenge for Ngalaguma females. We don't have a pool of female boxers. If we do have a pool, we find that we are struggling with weight, with opponents. For example, for Veliswa Makaya, is a young boxer who started at a young age. He went to the youth competition. He went to now he's an elite now. For her to have a good competition, Coach Maxwell and his coach, because the coach is always close to his boxers. So you have to take him outside to South Africa for competition, so that for her to improve. So in Swaziland, you find that now Veliswa Makaya is at higher level for the new upcoming female boxers. So most of the female boxers, they can't box with her, even if they're same weight.
Utabanjavelo number one.
Yeah,
Belula.
it makes it look easy, and then even the female boxer, they get demotivated to box against her.
All right.
So it's better if a new boxer and a new boxer. So for her to have a competition, Coach Maxwell is playing an extra mile to her to take her to South Africa and improve her skill.
No, beautiful stuff. Before we conclude, I want to touch on one or two things. 2024 Olympic Games. Nama national championships yabona letithombe yabonakala. Umsebenzi ume kanjani in preparing our athletes? Yes, we've got one athlete already in Russia by the name of Thabiso Dlamini. Athi namanye ma plans now to ensure that once Paris calls 2024 as an association, senivele nimile ukuthi nisimele as a country.
As an association, Sifiso Self is to send more boxers to participate in all international events. Fortunately, now we see the men's world championship. It will be say Uzbekistan. Yes, from 29 up to 14 May. The association makes them a boxer, which we are preparing them. We are exposing them to international events for Olympic qualifying Olympics, which these are the big events we have in the world, Olympics. So the men's world will give them an eye-opener, which this is a big event. They will meet the real champions of the world in their divisions. So as an association, we feel like we are already on the road preparing the boxers. So we have a team that we're going to expose to international events, and also going to have another team that we're going to expose for zonal games and all Africa games. So the boxers will keep changing, so we expose them more, so then we're going to be able to pick, so these are the best, these are the best, this is the best in this division.
Beautiful stuff.
So because we have the second best and the first best in per division. We don't have one per boxer who's shining per division.
Okay, like the confidence from the boxers we're seeing on the screen, and there's a quite improvement. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Dlamini, the Secretary General, who also slides as a coach, and we always rely on you in terms of input. And I think before the Zona 6 games and the way you mentioned Uzbekistan, we'll also get your input to know where you're standing as a country, as an association to represent the country. Yeah,
we have more boxers, like 4 boxers will be representing Swaziland. Yes, we have 4 boxers will be representing Swaziland and Uzbekistan on the 28th to 14 May.
Okay, they have it. Thank you very much. That is the Secretary General of Eswatini Boxing Association giving us a wrap-up of what happened over the weekend, the national championships. Were there any issues? Yes, there were issues of officiating, but there's nothing to be worried about, nothing they can't handle, but there's also they are looking at the bigger picture. Paris 2024 international competition, improving the female boxing in the country. A short break. When we come back, I'll be in-house in Dlamini. We will have an interaction with Eric Gama, the Vice President of Eswatini Volleyball Association. We want to touch on beach volleyball. Beach volleyball is making so much attention these days. What's happening in the industry of volleyball? As we leave, let's listen to the president of this man, Officer. He had some comments to make about the officials. A short break. When we come back, I'll be with Linda Dlamini.
Angijabuli kahle kakhulu because of sponsors. Asenibekise nje site kahle bo Rafael nemajaji. La umdlali ukhanza ukuthi sometimes, not always, uyaluza aluzuzwe ukuthi ngoba sidihlobo sonke lana kulo ukuthi ngirotate lamajaji kahle kuze kutothola i-fair decision. But nje so far so good akusinganani enike ngiva abhlungu lokuthi asikade tholi kahle imali de kuthi lo mdlalo swende kahle because bengifisile ukuthola amajaji as South Africa.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom
with our in-house analyst who just joined us now. He's been waiting to join us to give us a short background of what's happening in the sports entertainment and everything that has to do with the sporting activities. Whenever it's a weekend, he's busy out there gathering news for you. Wait for every Thursday or Monday just to get all the information. Nguvusele Nkosi.
Fabrice phindze kulesine ntsambama ngiyabonga Fabrice kumukela ehlelweni ngititfuka lokukhulu ngivusele nabamvu labalanhlitweni kimi eMaloyal viewers aleli hlelo leli labamvu lesisebenta bona labamvu lesitsina sivuka ekseni sathi ukuthi sihlonipha le TV nenqa yabo.
All right, we'll touch on boxing at some point, but I want us now to talk about the beach volleyball because Eric Mienigama, the Vice President of Eswatini Volleyball Association, so verusela inini Master Star Sigancane sikhulume naye. Sikuvusele babegama wherever you are this evening.
Yes, siyavusela kakhulu msakazi. Njani studio?
Yeah, Siapira Babegama. I'm also in the company of my colleague Linda Dlamini. Babegama, just to start with things, how excited as sports fraternity, the country, we are quite excited to see once again a beach volleyball taking center stage in the country. We've been wondering when is the moment going to come. Finally, the sport is here.
Yes. Nathi si-volleyball family sijabe kakhulu msakazi. Ukuthi baka iwoga basihlabe ngesikhozwana sibasakhele i-beach court. Le ngicabanga ukuthi sitayisebenzisa kakhulu. Itasita nje ngoba kune mqhudelwano utabe useTunisia kusuka mhla ka-23 June to mhla ka-30. Sita kakhulu sakhona lokhu ukuthi singacilonga leli qembu lethu bahambe bayilethu ngisabawusimelela kahle msakazi.
Babegama sitawusita nje umbukele ekhaya ukuthi abukene letithombe ukuthi nasikhuluma ngale beach volleyball. I think kube umsebenzi kakhulu ukuthi at least the facility to be able to bring it together. There was so much work behind to ensure that the facility comes together. But in terms of selecting the players, wasn't it a challenge to you as an association to ensure that everyone gets to play, be it to the male aspect and to the female aspect?
Yes, msakazi. Evikini leliphelile sidlalisile ema-games e-beach volleyball ngicabanga sibekho kuqala emva kwesikhathi eside kwahlaseka le break. I-turnout ibengilehle kakhulu because amaqembu efikile kubo sisibene amaqembu la ngisikile kubo bhuti abanye amaqembu la ngi-10 sikhonile kudlalisa-ke ema-games abo sisi aphela aze efika kuma-group stages aphela ama-group stages aze efika kuma-knockout stages lokuma-semi-finals. Kubo bhuti sikhonile kudlalisa ama-games lang-8 office ama-games la sesizawachubekisa kule mpelasonto lesiyaku ngemgcibelo khona e-Olymp Africa beach volleyball court.
Now, before I give to my colleague Linda Dlamini to also maybe ask you one or two questions, I'm wondering in terms of maybe near neighboring competitions. I want to believe before you go to Tunisia, you'd want to have maybe a mini competition with some of the teams within the region. Is there something of that magnitude being prepared from your side or from the Olympic movement? Anything that we can expect, maybe a mini sort of tournament, just to level yourself, to see where you're standing in terms of fitness and readiness?
Yes, msakati sinenhlanhla nje kule viki lamhla next month nga-May kusuka mhla ka-14 kuya kumhla ka-18 kune-tournament ye-beach volleyball lese eMozambique le-organize i-Zone 6 kuba mhla kukhombisa khona 10 countries nathi lesingulamanye wabo kule zone. And futhi sinenhlanhla iMozambique bomakhelwane wethu la Africa bang number 1 ema-rankings ku-beach volleyball. And futhi kukhona ne-memorandum lesibenayo ukuthi batasita kakhulu ezibomakhelwane wabo ukuthi nathi sithuthuke kakhulu ku-beach volleyball.
Beautiful stuff. Now, Nangu Linda Dlamini, he's got one or two questions just to also get to know what is the plan that you have for the sport, Master.
Mr. Kama, ngikhumbula ukuthi ngesikhathi ba-trainer lapha abadlala lama-teams wakhala kakhulu nge-level. Ingabe ungaphindze usho yini ukuthi i-level solo icalile le-beach volleyball. Ngiyajabula nini ne-association ukuthi-ke nasenikhethile ngoba evikini lelitaka understand ukuthi indaba esinayo i-final team leniyiselectile letaya khona eTunisia ukuthi ingabe tinombolo dingakhi letaya eTunisia.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Linda. Inombolo litinisha kuya 4 category badlali. Ngicabanga ukuthi inyalo choose the professional squad ya 8 players. Maybe with bosses ngaba na 6 players. Lesitabathatha ngalo mhla ka14 to mhla ka18 sina kwele Mozambique. But after badlali iphezulu futhi sizali sahambisa maybe 17 both categories kuya le Mozambique. Ngicabanga ukuthi lapho batala sebakule professional squad sisabe sina kuya khona ngathi i-final squad sayi-announce today towards the end of May, but inyalo saba nabo abadlali bese siba khethile ukuthi laba sawukhetha kulabo. Asifuni lokhu lasatito because njengoba ngasho ngasizinga alisilo lelijabulisako, but i-potential ikhona iningi kakhulu.
Okay, maybe last question, Gama, before we let you go. In terms of maybe expectations, singasho ukuthi it's the first time after quite a long time. Singasho ukuthi you won't go to Tunisia just to bring trophies, anything. Njena ukuthi uvetile ukuthi vele lizinga kwanyalo, alisile lizinga lesingasho ukuthi liyajabulisa. But nigadzeni kulabadlali. Nasingathi senisukile senibhekise edolobheni leTunis, eTunisia. What is the expectation? How far do you want to go? What is the performance expectation from your side?
Ngicabanga ukuthi for a start mhlawumbe i-quarter final kimi ingangijabulisa njengomuntu ose-office ku-technical. Ngicabanga ukuthi ingangijabulisa i-quarter final, but ngicabanga ukuthi eMozambique ngilapha sa-president khona ngicabanga ukuthi ngizaku-update nangibuya khona ngikutshela ukuthi sihambe njani. Ngicabanga sokunye ukutasitha futhi because i-Olympic Lesotho nayo ngathi iyasenza kakhulu ne-Olympic Swaziland. Ngicabanga ukuthi mabombo nakho akutamese wabhekise khona because ibona nabo bayayidlala. Ngicabanga ukuthi by the end of May ngabe ngikutshela ukuthi sibhekene, but i-quarter final finish ngicabanga ukuthi ngasijabulisa kakhulu sibili.
All right, beautiful stuff. Sibonga kakhulu Babe Gama, and for your attention, and just to ensure that you give us an update. We keep in touch to know how the teams are doing, both male and female category, and also good luck for the job.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu msakazi wami ukuthi nisi-invite ehlelweni.
Must ubavakashele kabili since the inception of the court at Lobamba, during the official launch of the facility and during the national team training. The excitement master kulabadlali. Khona lokutfolako na ubavakashele.
Fabrice, i-beach volleyball sukela yalonjwa about 2-3 weeks back. Uyayibona le excitement kulabadlali be-volleyball. Cishe bonke labadlali, males and females. Yes, it's a bit challenging because of lesihlabathi vele kudzinga ukuthi physically ube fit kakhulu, leg imbala tonke lamamasela lambaleni kudzinga ukuthi abe fit kakhulu. Hence ngisho ukuthi i-challenging. Ngicabanga ukuthi njoba asho yena vice president ukuthi batawuhamba bodlala ama-games angaphandle ukuthola le exposure because involuntarily labadlali abakhona lapha, but ke i-experience yekudlala international volleyball kula some of ama-players ngicabanga ukuthi abasita kakhulu ezibasaya ukudlala le midlalo angaphandle, but nje le excitement onke lama-teams bonke labadlali uyababona ukuthi wonke umuntu utshelile, and ke the bigger picture ngile Tunisia ngaJune mhla ka-24 kuya kumhla ka-30 uyabona le excitement ukuthi wonke umuntu ufuna ukurepresenta live eTunisia kuma Beach Africa Games lataba khona eTunisia. So ngicabanga ukuthi lokho kuyaba motivator, lokho kutawukhulisa le standard because ezibajima nabokhoshi babona ukuthi okay kudzinga ukuthi silungise la nala tonke letinvo leto, but nje lengikubonile mina ukuthi sonke sport siyadzinga ukuthi usipractice, siyadzinga ukuthi utrain. So nabo laba kumele ukuthi bayisebenzise leya inkundla leya lapha eOlympic Africa, batrain, batinike isikhathi, bawende lawo ma-blocks, bawende lawo ma-spikes, bawende lawo good service because i-volleyball once wasevisa kahle then uyabuya uyaregroupa, uyakhona ukuthi usethele your partner akhona ukuthi aspike nabaspike ngale niyakhona niyabuya niyablocker nento esho ukuthi netha needs.
Beautiful stuff. We can't wait to see how the team will perform, and we can't wait for them to join other teams in Mozambique next month, like Mr. Gama highlighted, and then we can start giving them that hope that come Tunisia later this year they could make the quarterfinal. Yes.
Yeah. And lokunye Fabrice Olympic committee Olympic movement yaveta evikini leliphelile ukuthi nyalo sekangi-3 lama sports latawuhamba ayeTunisia because nakuqala nakuvula yona le beach volleyball bekuyi only swimming ne tech-ball. Nyalo sekangi-3 sekuyi open water swimming, sekuyi tech-ball, sekuyi volleyball. Lokusho ukuthi sesitaba na-3 uma sports latayakosimilela eTunisia. I personally think kuhle ukuthi ema-sports lamanengi angeteke nakuyodlalwa imidlalo yangaphandle because siyathi ukuthi open water swimming bebayibambile eliphohlo bebakhona bosimanga bakhona cishe bonke lama swimmers lesiwathembako alapha event. So ngicabanga ukuthi as nawo lama associations ati lokuthi okay sesibaningi lesihambako le ngenteka one association ibuye nemedal pressure la ngakithi sekumele ukuthi nathi sinyuse amasokisi.
We can't wait. Beautiful stuff. That's Lindell Dlamini. He took a drive over the weekend to see how things were wrapping up at Olympia Africa Lobamba. He's not the only place. That's not the only place that he managed to visit, because from there he was quite excited to see Oyama Kyokushinike karate master, and now in the mood to train youngsters.
Yeah.
Wafika master wakanzani. Mbone nje bamfana abancane just doing their best. You know, when you look at maybe the sport, and I think now I think your main attention was to say bazama kubafundisana, and the response was that it's self-protection. But the bigger picture, there is the discipline that comes with the sport itself.
Fabrice, it's been a while sagcina kucover i-Oyama Kyokushin karate, solo si cover i-taekwondo. Kanti karate ihlukene imikhakha lemnengi kunabo taekwondo kunabo Oyama Kyokushin. So i-Oyama Kyokushin ngilembela somvo beyisemxolo esikolweni lese corporation eprimary lapha bebafundisa abantwana abatrain abantwana iprogram le ukuthi bahambela letikolo bafundisa abantwana labancane ngayo i-Oyama Kyokushin. Kodwa ke Fabrice, besides kuba trainer labantwana ngayo le karate baphindze babanike nama life skills ama life skills leta ngetindlela etahlukahlukene, because la bekunabo trainer bayo le karate kuphindze kunabo thishela labantu abafundisa ukuthi ubalansa njani ikarate nemsebenzi wesikolo. Kuphindze ke Fabrice ngetulu kwaloko kube ne social worker letafike ilungise letingcomvo talabantwana ezibakhula ezibatrainer tonke letinvo leto ngicabanga nje ukuthi it's a good thing labayindako labaka Oyama Kyokushin. So I think I personally think vele sithi siswati Fabrice umthenze uhlaba usamila noma uligotshwa lisemanti nawu batfola basebancane bangaka ngicabanga ukuthi kunengi lele singakwenda sikhonile ukuthi over the years siproduce badlali noma abashayi bekarate labacishe ba best lapha even including Bolinda Dlamini, yes, labe basi bebanga baya ngaphandle kwelive babuye na something sibone ukuthi cha live limeleleka kahle. So ngicabanga ukuthi it's one sport lesibese asisanakeleleki kahle, kodwa lena indlela lekahle yekubuya kule sport sibuye sikompete sibuye abantwana bakhule kuso.
Master, before I want us to listen to some of the people, but we've never heard a complaint maybe from the association, no matter officials, no matter the likes of Mr. Obed. We'll listen to him shortly, talking about kutsi bakaranga timali or even kutsi bakaranga in. The only support level it's when they are leaving the country to represent us. But kutsi batilongela you don't even know. You just find them in different schools, one of the classrooms. It's the passion that drives the sport, mostly because we've never heard them sing it because that uniform, you need to get it from the association. They need to make the whole attire for you. The singer should see that's what we need even from other associations. The passion, then you complain after we've seen that you're driving the sport.
Fabrice, ngicela kusho nawo since ngaqala kunda ema sports la Eswatini TV angaze ngayithola i-response lekanje after cover story, send the story. Sasenda le story on Monday,
Easter Monday.
Yes, on Monday nzambama after sidlale le story etinzabeni about 6 wetikolo letashaya ticela sibachumanise nabo laba bafuna ku-introduce etikolweni tabo about 6. Imagine the impact oyama koikoshin lenayo kubantu etimpilweni tebantfu kubothishela etikolweni kubantfwana labancane. Imagine the impact Eswatini TV leyentako etimpilweni tebantfu labasemakhaya. So I think if njoba ngihlale ngisho ukuthi bantfwana labancane ngiyo future, so if sibabamba basebancane sikhona lo sesibatrain basebancane singakhona ukuthi as a country siye the passion lokhuluma ngayo wena from the association, from the officials labatrainer labamvana bekuna SG wasibhakela la now umbona a trainer abamvana labancane the passion ngicabanga ukuthi it's amazing the result lesitayitfola in 3-4 years 5 years akusi miracle. Sport azange sesike sibe miracle Fabrice. Uyatrainer, investa ngemali, investe ngesikhathi sakho. Ngakho konke kwakho lonako, then i-result utayithola.
Now, I want to hear what the officials had to say, because there were the officials, development officer, there were some of the athletes also part of the day, and basichazela nje kafishane ukuthi kahle kahle bafundisana labamfana bayasho ukuthi yini abakuzuzako kulo msebenzi. Let's just hear them, and then we can make some comments over what they are going to be saying.
Sigcizelela kakhulu ukuthi karate is for self defense. So ukuthi karate akusiyo ekhambe ulwa, but it's for defending you. And you know ukuthi karate it keeps you focused. Karate iphinze ikusite ukuthi ubuildeke holistically.
The skill alone won't take you far in life, but it's the character that you have, the skills, the techniques that you've developed, even in the classroom and in education as a whole, that will take you far in your career. So we encourage them and we empower them, not just with the skill, but also with the techniques and the education.
Karate, mine personally, ngifundzela i-self-defense because of gender-based violence these days. As imfumbatana umele wena wadi ukuthi utivikela ukhona ukutivikela as a girl.
Short and brief, we didn't have to hear a lot. Straight to the point. Nyamuva, one of the karate player, the last one, the girl.
Yeah.
Do you recall
very,
her name?
very brave.
Do you recall her name?
Very, very, Seluleko Stoli. Very, very brave young girl.
What's it all about self-defense? Ngoba mantu mbatani kula malanga vele.
Ahlukubeteke.
Yeah.
Fabrice, bengamlalela lo mbala lona lishone. Ngendlela la confident ngayo, ngendlela la understand ngayo ukuthi ikarate uyijimela ini. Uyeva ukuthi kuthi umvula umtshelile wamfaka emagama emlonyeni. Ayikhuluma lenvo ukhuluma uthi ngijimela ikarate because kunabo gender violence manvombatana. Yes, the little girl manvombatana ahlukubeteka. Yabona Fabrice, the smile, I wish you could see the smile on my face nakenda le interview. Because siyabadzinga bamvana labancane ba understand ukuthi ngiku-sport lane. Njengoba sishilo ukuthi ikarate it's not just a sport. I-weapon yekutivikela. And lokunye ke Fabrice labakuvetile cishe labanengi ukuthi kakarate baba jimisa nediscipline babafundisa idiscipline kuthi lokho sowati wena ikarate ungabe sesohamba hlupha abantu uthi wena ngalokho sojima ikarate. So ngicabanga ukuthi idiscipline nako konke lo sube focus ngiko labakufundisa kakhulu bekarate. Simvile nanoma chawe wakasibiya the social worker ukuthi yini labayifunako kulabantwana balethe the social workers ukuthi bete batokhulumisa labantwana kuze ingcomvo tabo bato understanda konke umsebenzi wesikole konke nekarate bakhona ukubalansisa nempilo nje general ukuthi nawufika ekhaya uphila kanjani wena as an athlete.
How impressive. How can you listen to that and not be quite excited? Now, Just that's not the only sporting call that was taking place over the weekend, because this midweek from Tuesday to Wednesday in South Africa, there is what we call Athletics South Africa Association Grand Prix, where some of the well-known athletes within the region, they get invited to compete in a Grand Prix in Pretoria. So on Wednesday evening, we had two top athletes who are representing us. That is Swazi Bolt, known as Subsiso Matsenjwa, and Bonge Mahlale. I want us to, we go one by one, Master. Let's start with Swazi Bolt, because Subsiso Matsenjwa, known as Swazi Bolt, we'll look at his visuals. Master, when you talk about Bolt, this is a stage that he's used to, because earlier on, he was telling me how he was disappointed. He felt like he was supposed to win this. There's nothing like being number one or number two. He felt like he was being number three. But there is something you once highlighted, that he needs to improve whenever there's a 200-meter. And now he needs to improve on that, because we've seen that on Olympics, we've seen that in Commonwealth Games, Gyamshire, because then he gets a bit slow, they take over. We'll look at the footage as we explained, but how can he improve that? Is it more exposure of the tournament? As we can see, he's number 4 from the screen, but this is him in the center. This is him in the center. He looks really ready. He is in front. At this point, he's in front, but he's now getting slow.
Fabrice, njoba usho ukuthi yena Swazi Bolt Sibuso Matsenjwa bekangenele yona umgquzelwano i-championships e-South Africa. Nawubuka la bekumele ukuthi ayiwine le race le. Kuba disappointed kwakhe, ngiyakunderstand. And nawubuka ukuthi ugcine number 4 kanti uthi yena nakaphuma ebhendini, nakaphuma nje ebhendini sakangena straight in beka lead lapha. And ke Fabrice, I must say this ukuthi excuse me, Sibuso Matsenjwa, onke lama athletes la khona la, is the most experienced. The most experienced is supposed bekumele ayiwine le race, bekumele ayiwine. I've been saying this for Fabrice ukuthi abuye awinile. I think njoba ngisho ukuthi uqale ku computer international 2009. So kumele ukuthi naka ngenela kuma competitions la kanje awina aphuma bek number 1. Kuze nathi as a country sitakwazi ukuthi nakaya kuma Olympics, nakaya kuma Commonwealth Games, lithemba lisetulu kakhulu. But if ata uphuma bek number 4 kuma competitions la kanje, I'm very disappointed, very disappointed.
He should have taken this home.
Kakhulu Fabrice, njoba ngisho ukuthi is the most experienced kula ma athletes la khona lapha. And nawubuka futhi ukuthi njengoba ngishilo ukuthi ebhendini ute a leader nasangena straight in wase so yehlisa kancane, ngicabanga ukuthi bekumele ukuthi ayiwini. But having said that, the local athletes, they are not doing any justice kuSibusiso. Ngishiso yini lokho, ngishiso ukuthi every time nakune competition uyadominate Sibusiso. Every time kude le competition letamfaka la ngemuva, imfakele pinch, imnikele ukuthi ende the best, yabona. Every time naka ngaphandle, because naketa la khaya uyambona ukuthi as much as the body language ithi ngiyazama gijima, but usuka ati lo utawina. So ngicabanga ukuthi even nama local athletes ethu
akamfakele ukushisa,
ngiyawa at fault kakhulu ukuthi Sibusiso akakhoni kudominate nakayi ngaphandle, because i-competition la khaya akayitholi.
Now, let's look at the race for the last time, because we'll maybe step by step, we'll ask them to pause so that we say from the beginning, he looked set. We've seen now how he looks, the dress code, since, we know where he's positioned in that race. Because I want you to take me where you think he needs to improve. There is. Let's go. Now, there is. He's fast, he's here. Now, can we pause here? Can we pause here?
Yes.
Here. Can we pause
just
here?
There.
Here. He's leading now.
Yes. Perfect. Fabrice, I've been following Swazi Bolt since 2009.
Yes.
Lala kuti khona kusebhendini ku 200 meters, because 200 meters inayo le bend.
Yes.
Then straight in ufike bese sebamshaya, siyamshaya kancane. Njoba ngisho nje la ngilapho khona ufike usofaka that last 9 seconds
Speed.
sofaka le speed.
Asisembili kancane, because he's leading. Let's go in front kancane. Stop. Now, the one in a green or yellow t-shirt seemed to have taken off. And then the left on top of the screen, the one in a white top, naye I think in the next less than a second utam overtake.
And yes, we are overtaker and I have nothing against
Sibusiso. He's
I-
even our friend.
Yeah,
he
he's
can't
our
take,
friend.
He can't take offense.
Exactly. Use high performance center. High performance center. Due scholarship
Olympic movement.
kumele ukuthi ngabe siya benefit. Kumele ukuthi Sibusiso ngabe ya benefit. He's 34 now.
Should be his last Olympics
Yeah,
next season.
vele washo ukuthi i last Olympic Games akhe. Kumele ukuthi nyalo ngabe sesithola icream, nyalo ngabe sesiyavuna kuSibusiso, sesilobhotela nje sekuyashelela nje konke Fabrice. I think naye personally kutsinga ukuthi lengekhathi kuye athi nyalo ukuthi this is my last chance. Ngwendile umsebenzi wami ekhaya eSwatini ngidominateile kuma national championships ngaya kuma Commonwealth Games ngama Olympic Games, but I need to dominate ema race angaphandle.
Let's look at the board. Some of the people that he was racing with, because maybe Kwanalika Mtalibona, because I was expecting to see maybe Akane Simbine. I think Sinesipo Dambile was the person who was number one. But look at the people who were ahead of him. I mean, there's not. I think Armand van der Walt also. I saw him during the Olympics.
Watch out for that young man, Armand van der Walt.
Yes.
Watch out. As much as kule race le angamtholi number one, but ngicabanga ukuthi in the next year or 2 years utaba dominate South Africa. Remember the name.
There's also Podiso Rampa from Botswana. His performance seemed to have dropped. But I'm looking at the rank of people. I mean, he should have been number 2, at least. Sibusiso. If it's worse, it was supposed to be number 2.
Fabrice, letikhathi letingalaka left. Sibusiso nje lokashaya 20.57. Ku 200 meters Sibusiso kumele ngabe soshaya 19. Lokungenani ke Fabrice 20.09. 20.09 lokungenani, but lesikhathi lezi ngicabanga ukuthi kuma race la kanje ushaya iPB or season best.
Now, let's move on. Sister athlete. Now, Swazi Bolt was not alone in this competition because we had a female by the name of Bongi Mahleria in 2017 during the cream period of Nziniza. What's her name again? Pumlile Nziniza. You mentioned that watch out for Bongi Mahleria. And now she's number 1 in the country, female. She was there. Let's look at how she performed, Master. We cannot put much pressure on her because she's still growing. She's the second on the left side of the screen. Blue skirt and white top. She finished 5th here in 100 meters. But as an athlete.
There's a lot like kumele ukuthi akufunze naye Bongi Mahleria. Ngicabanga ukuthi first high performance center kuba high performance training.
Yes.
This year yena Bongiwe lagcine abe number 5 kuyo 100 meters. Kunengi la kumele ukuthi akufunze Fabrice njoba sengishilo. Kodwa i200 meters uyigijima bekangafuni ukugijima i200 meters itolo. Coach wamforce ukuthi agijime i200 meters. Ku200 meters washaya iPB, wathola iPB. Lengicabanga ukuthi ku200 meters for me ngiyo lengathi lengimthemba kuyo khona kakhulu. But ke Fabrice njoba ngisho ukuthi kusadzinga ukuthi naye kunengi kakhulu la kufundzako as asese South Africa as asese Pitoli lama athletes lanawo le high performance center even nale pressure because nawutata ukuthi national champion ngicabanga ukuthi inengi le pressure lebala kuwe, so buya khona kuma Commonwealth Games labeka se Birmingham kunengi la kufundzile naye isikhathi sakhe singathi improve yena nje 200 meters njoba ngisho ukuthi ushaye iPB ntinvo ke leto lidzinga Fabrice ukuthi na ungenele ama competitions angaphandle la South Africa bo Zambia bo Botswana na uyitholele le invite ngicabanga ukuthi shaya ithola personal best yakho.
Let's look at some of the people that she was competing with, because nakona sitakona kwati ukuthi can we really judge her performance. This is in 100 meters. Yes, it wasn't the best. You said that in 200. I want us to take where we can say she still need to improve. There's Pindile Gubega, and I think it was 11.8. But look at the difference between her and number 1, 12.2. Angazama angasebenta.
national champs nje la tabala khaya ngigasile ukuthi
I'm sure they made a mistake. They're supposed to put Eswatini flag. Yeah.
11 point.
Yes.
11 point.
And nine at
Kulo 12.22. Ay, nane. Nane. She's our top athlete. Our number one ku 100 meters, our number one ku 200. Kumele ukuthi angene ku sub 11 Fabrice lokungenani naye nje leshaya ngitsoyana sebele waseBotswana kumele ukuthi at least 11 point amshaye 11.9 amshaye hayi 12 point ngicabanga isikhathi lesingasiso lesikahle because nakhona lapha bekude mhlambe ngijimi lesingasho ukuthi hey number 1 in Africa number 1 emhlabeni.
So it's supposed to be the best area.
Okay, njengoba ngisho ngeke ngimfake at least lokungenani akangene top 3 amshaye lo 11 point angashaye 12.
Now, we can't wait for them to compete at international level, and I'm sure something needs to be done. Now, moving on. Today, the MTN Premier League, in line with their title sponsor, MTN Premier League, in line with their title sponsor, MTN Eswatini, awarded the best players for the month of March. Now, 2 players from the Premier League and the National First Division, respectively. In Premier League, Master Njabulo Twala, Green Mamba. There were complaints, some comments I read on social media to say, in March, he only played 2 games and 3 goals and 3 assists.
3 assists.
Ubanjan player of the month, which had 2 games in 1 month. And there are players who scored there's a player who scored about 5 goals. Okay, to you, in your opinion, was he deserving this award?
Fabrice, kulesi sikhathi kusadzinga ukuthi sike sibite yonke le committee. Le awards committee. Sike siyibute lokho kahle kahle nanihlala phansi nibuka abadlali kahle. Nikhetha njani?
But nyawo singeke scomplain ngoba ngathi sinelunga lakhaya.
No.
Nice question.
Nice question
Yeah.
because i-colleague yethu
umkhetha njani?
manje lama colleagues kunemdlali weNsingizini North Spurs ngamatch. Lo shaya hat-trick. Una 5 amagol in March alone nje. Then kuna Njabulo Twala lo dlala only 2 games ngamatch. Only 2 games ngamatch. Mina Fabrice Njabulo Twala has been consistent.
Very good.
Kule season le. Kodwa I think kule nyanga ya March kude lokunganani la kwentile compared to yena Neliso weNsingizini lo shaya 5 amagoli. Smoothies ka First Division ngicabanga ukuthi udlale kahle kakhulu uyadeserve ukuthi ayithole le award but sisathinga njengoba ngisho ukuthi sisathinga ama-answers from the hours committee kusho ukuthi why Njabulo yini labakubonile kuye but ke maybe lokunye mhlambe labanye
abayabukela noma games
mhlawumbe
yes because nakhuluma ngeNsingizini takhanza ukuthi the only chance to watch Nsingizini it's when they play the big 3 or anything but once they don't play the big 3 they don't watch them asiba so sesiyasho ukuthi ngile simo lesikhulu.
Yeah, but ke Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi kumcoka nalokuthi uconsult mina Fabrice there's one thing le ngathi tshela yona if into ngasiko show ngayo if info bengingekho kuyo
Question noma consequence
besides the question ngiyabuta Fabrice kuhambe kanjani lapha angitshele Fabrice ngibutela omunye angitshele ngibe nayo yonke lama answers labanginikete wona labang 3 then bese sengiyadakhela ke my own analysis ngicabanga ukuthi lokho kungasita kakhulu otherwise lo kwentekile la sitawubonana kulokwentekile la season ukuthi umdlali adlala second round kuphela angene
player of the series
player ngicabanga
unemdlalo ocala season
twice
robbed. He was robbed twice.
Dinvo leto lesingadzingi ukuthi sitibone ebholeni yakithi.
There you have it. Linda Dlamini, you can listen to him from the first minute he gets into the studio to the last minute. Manchester Katsi, being not being on our side, we have to love and leave you. Mboga Kulungosi, MTN Premier League games, they continue this weekend. We cannot wait to see how the title race will be looking on Monday.
Remember, nangisho ukuthi by Monday, kulibhola Eswatini, tabe kune team relegate.
Right. who knows? We'll get the report from this man on Monday and also judge it from the results of the weekend. Thank you very much, Master, for your time. We meet here Monday for the Eswatini, and we once again meet here on Thursday for the Temidlalo. Just talk about sporting activities. It's been lovely to be with you here, talk about different activities that took place and updating you just to know that the country is doing everything that they can to give you the best in the sporting industry. Linda Lamini, the entire crew, and everyone that ensured that you get all the information that you have. I'm Fabrice Musonera, and this has been Temidlalo and Sidla Ragamnans.
Madame Deneuve, I've got a question. Do you think haute couture is still alive and kicking?
Of course, we're here, aren't we? It's certainly not dead today.
It's really exciting to have things made on your body, and it always makes you feel really special.
It's the highest of styles. I love being here.
There's so much that goes into it. There's such an art, and so I feel very honored to be here at the Dior show. And in Paris, without kids and my husband, it's very nice.
Haute couture is big business. After Louis Vuitton, the House of Dior is the second most lucrative brand within the LVMH luxury family, which in 2022 saw a turnover of more than 14 billion euros. Couture certainly means cash, but is it still shorthand for art?
Oh, absolutely. A designer is absolutely an artist, without a doubt. It's rather sociological as a career choice. It's a job where you have to understand different influences, where you're projecting a certain image of what it means to be a woman, or you're suggesting a certain vision of male-female relationships. That is subtle work. It demands sensitivity, intelligence, and analysis.
For her haute couture summer 2023 collection, Dior's creative director Maria Grazia Curie wanted to pay homage to the elegant modernity of the black Parisian jazz stars of the 1920s, and Josephine Baker in particular.
I think that she was very important in French culture, and I think it was good to celebrate her because she was inside the resistance, like Catherine Dior too. We are not to forget that she was like a real client, that she went in all the different houses in Paris, couture house, to buy her wardrobe, and she come back in New York with this incredible haute couture wardrobe. And in some way, she promoted also the couture in the French couture in USA. So I think it's important to celebrate her. I think it's the most important period in the fashion because change the shape, take off the corset. It was a really revolutionary moment. And we are not to forget that in Paris was the center of the creativity. All the artists around the world come to Paris to be free, to express their artistic vision of the world. And in fashion is super important moment. I really love this period.
Last, and one of my favorite collaborations with Dior and Maria Grazia was an ode to Josephine Baker we did for the Met. And so to come into this collection and to see all of the incredible influences from Josephine Baker to Nina Simone to some of the first supermodels, it was a beautiful collection to pay kind of homage to their legacy.
And Josephine Baker, it's a real social, even political message.
Absolutely, because I think she comes from a lineage that I ascribe to people like James Baldwin as well, who are not only artists and have this deep love for France and the freedom that France gave them, but are political commentators that did put their lives on the line to stand up for what is right. And so I think they are the people that we're looking up to right now. They are the people that we kind of seek for guidance.
I could go back to the 20s tomorrow, I think, living in the 90s.
Away from the bright lights, meanwhile, a vision of haute couture that's far less lucrative. Olivier Sayard, formerly curator of fashion museums, is these days artistic director of the Azzedine Alaïa Foundation and also of Shoemakers Western. He writes and performs on the theme of fashion and art. His fifth play, conceived within a cycle called Mode Povera, is titled Les Vêtements de Renée, or Renée's Clothes in English.
Renée is my mother. She died pretty much at the same time as the pandemic, but not of COVID. We just spent several months with her. She was very old. With my brothers, we had to handle the inevitable situation of working out what to do with her clothes after she died. But I thought, I've been a curator at fashion museums, director even. I've made inventories of all the dresses in the world, from the 18th century to the present day. There was simply no question of me doing nothing with my late mother's clothes. So I put them all in cardboard boxes,